Let's just check in on the flashes coming in on your screen as we were awaiting updates on the Supreme Court verdict with the loan moratorium case. The Solicitor General has gone ahead and said now that the matter has been received for consideration at the highest level. But the Solicitor General telling the Supreme Court that now they are seeking 2 to 3 more days to actually take a final call on the matter. And this is going to, it is currently operating at an advanced stage. The Supreme Court has deferred the hearing now for the 4th of October, asking the centre to file the reply. So this means that on Monday is when the Supreme Court saying that they are going to hear the case on Monday. Maithili Bhushnurmath joining in. Maithili, does this come as a surprise to you, the fact that now the case has been deferred?
Well, yes, it does, because the Supreme Court is very emphatic that there will be no further adjournments and they will give a final decision. So this means the impasse just drags on, the uncertainty just drags on, because one really cannot understand what is the government going to do in 2 days that they couldn't do since the past hearing till today. So it really beats all logic, but presumably the government is going to come out with such a package. But as I said, my basic case remains that this is something that the Supreme Court should not have stirred into, should have not stayed, should have thrown out the petition right when it was presented to them itself and never entertained it. Now that it has entertained it, I'm afraid this is a sorry mess that we are in, with the government repeated adjournments, government asking for more and more time. But at the end of the day, whatever the government says and whatever the Supreme Court says, the final thing is that there will be no winners whatsoever in this. It is a defeat both for the borrowers as well as for the investors, the taxpayers, for the government, for the banking sector, all around. So frankly, as I said, one hopes that 2 days later, on the 1st of October, whenever it is, the Supreme Court will come up with a final ruling. But as I said, it's one of the most unfortunate recent instances we have seen of the Supreme Court overstepping its reach and getting into an area where they should never have got into in the first place: commercial transactions and against established banking practice.
Absolutely. And Maithili, I'm wondering what this holistic quote-unquote package is going to be all about. Seems like it's going to be something much bigger.
Well, yes, there is a case certainly for coming to the help of certain stressed sectors, but this should be a decision of the executive, not something that is led by the Supreme Court. And that is the unfortunate part of the entire unsavory instance, as I would call it, because it is a fact that there are some sectors which have hurt more than others. Tourism, hospitality, telecom, these are sectors that have been hurt, the services sectors largely. So this is something that the government should have done on its own, should have done yesterday rather than today, and certainly not at the prodding of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that it's been deferred, October 4th it is, so we're going to have to wait for few more days. Maithili, good to have you in for that quick perspective.